Verse number 14, O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness that thou mayest be saved. Now, I'll pause right there. It's not talking about becoming a Christian. It's not talking about salvation. It is talking about being spared, being saved from the Babylonian captivity. We have the whole Bible. We know what it's about. There's judgment coming, and they could be spared from the judgment. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness that thou mayest be saved, that thou mayest be spared from the coming judgment. Then this phrase, how long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? How long? I like to emphasize the how long. Look, Jeremiah said, look, how long? How long is this going to keep going? How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? What was the problem? The reason the nation was apart from God was because their minds were stayed on the things that were apart from God. The problem was the mind. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? The word vain, we could supply it with the word bad. How long shall thy bad thoughts lodge within thee? Say it with me. How long shall thy bad thoughts lodge? How long shall thy evil? How long shall thy evil thoughts lodge within thee? If I'm watching things, reading things, listening to things that are ungodly, then those are things that are bad that are being allowed to stay within my mind. The longer I listen, the longer they're there. And then the word lodge. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? When something is lodged, it is stuck. If I take the microphone stand here, and I take my thumb, and I jam it there, my thumb is now lodged. And it's a problem. Actually, it hurts. So we understand when something is lodged, it is stuck. Well, you could read the verse like that. How long shall thy bad thoughts get stuck in your brain? I mean, they're just stuck there. The longer you listen to ungodly, watch ungodly, read ungodly, then it's just captivated there. It also means something other than stuck. It also means a dwelling place, a lodge. And what is the mind? It's a dwelling place for thoughts. They're lodging there. I need to use two fellas. I might as well use both of you since you're such good drivers. Here you go, stand right over there. First name again? Josh and Elijah. Let me use these two guys to illustrate. We're going into the future. Both of them are married. Both of them have children and wives. Elijah will be our good guy. Josh, right, will be our bad guy. Josh is a multi-billionaire with a kind heart. He loves giving money away, don't you? Smile. How many of you can think of something, if you only had the money, you'd buy it? Would you hold your hand in the air? If you'll see Elijah after it, he'll give you the money. That's the kind of guy he is. He's kind, he's generous, and he loves giving things away. He owns everything around here. He owns houses, he owns apartments, he owns businesses. Matter of fact, Josh moves into town. He needs a place to live. He gets the newspaper, looks at it, and realizes everything's owned by Elijah. If you're going to buy a house or rent a house, you buy it or rent it from Elijah. He owns everything. So he calls him up and he says, I just moved into town, me, my wife, and my 12 children. And he said, we need a place to live. I need a big house. Are you wanting to buy? Elijah says, no, just to rent. Well, you're in luck, because out on the Farmers Loop Road, there's a house that just became available. It's a house with 13 bedrooms. They all open up into an indoor swimming pool. It's an absolutely wonderful house. And Josh asked, well, how much is the rent? Oh, only $12,000 a month. $12,000 a month? But all the kids, Daddy, 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 please, can we have that house? It's got a swimming pool. Please, please, please. And so they move in. Elijah does not know that Josh is a bad renter. Do you know what a bad renter is? How many of you rent places? Would you hold your hands in the air? You have some renters. You know what bad renters are. Bad renters are they who do not pay their rent on time, if at all. Bad renters are they who destroy your property. Bad renters. That is Josh. Bad renter. They live in the house for a month, and Elijah decides that he would stop by because he's going to collect the rent. But during that month that they live there, do you know what 12 kids like to do with magic markers? They wrote on every wall in the house. And one day Josh came home and he was angry, and the dog ran by him and he kicked at the dog and he kicked a hole right in the wall. And the kids said, Dad, that looks like fun. And so the kids go through the house kicking holes in the wall. The doorbell rings. Guess who's here? Elijah. Big smile on his face, coming to collect the rent. But notice Josh is smiling. Show them your smile. Josh is smiling because he doesn't know who's there. He opens the door. What do you think Elijah's response is? He sees the mess. He sees the holes. He sees his house being destroyed. Do you think he walks in and said, hey, I like the multicolor walls? That is a good idea. And I like the holes in the wall. Let's ventilation go from one room to another. That is a wonderful idea. Do you think that's how he would respond if his property is being destroyed? I can imagine. Look, I'm displeased. Do you understand? Nod your head. I want this place cleaned up. Are you going to clean it up? Are you going to tell your wife, or you want me to tell her? You'll tell her, you made a wise choice. Because I was going to go in search just in a moment. And so Elijah leaves. How many of you think it gets better the next month? Would you hold the hand in the air? Mm-hmm. One. How many of you think it gets worse the next month? Would you? Oh, they know you very well. It does get worse. When you have a bad renter, you've got a problem. It got much worse. They never took out the garbage for one whole month. All the leftover food, everything was just left on the countertop. There were flies, there were maggots. I mean, it was just horrible. One day he came home and he was happy, and he grabbed the chandelier. He was swinging from the chandelier, and it fell, it crashed. It was $10,000 chandelier broken to pieces. And the doorbell rang. Guess who's here? Elijah. Well, notice Josh, big smile on his face. Let him see it. Josh comes to the door not knowing who's there, opens the door, and Elijah never says a word. He sees it, but you know what he's thinking. Get out! Out! Don't nod your head. Get out! Out! All the way out. Yes, that car. Okay, we solved that problem. When you kick out a bad renter, you've done a good thing. He can't destroy your house anymore. What are you doing? Get out! Out! Stay out! I never saw him come back in. When you kick out! Good idea, lock the door. Okay, finally. So when we kick out a bad renter, the bad renter can no longer destroy our house. You're determined, aren't you? You can have a seat. Give him a hand for taking my advice. Here's the point. If you kick out a bad renter, the bad renter can no longer destroy your property. But if you let him back in, he can destroy. Now, I like Josh. How many of you like Josh? Hold your head. Oh, wonderful. I like Josh, but I'm better off without him. You see, there are things sometimes that we can like, but they destroy. You can enjoy them, you can like them, but as you listen to them, as they live and dwell within you, they can destroy your life. If you kick them out and keep them out, they can't destroy anymore. It's all a choice. And you understand it's not just music. The thing that we're choosing here is to have that new song in our mouth, and the only way we can have the new song in our mouth is by feeding godly things into our life so that our heart changes, so that that which comes forth out of the heart comes out of the mouth and has an impact upon others.